You're listening to Trifecta Podcast, where we discuss sports, history, Black and Creole culture, and much more on Trifecta Podcast.
We got Daniel Edouard, the Haitian sensation, Craig Scott, activist, and Timothy McKain. How you gentlemen doing today?
Man, we're doing great.
We awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there's a lot of sports topics that are happening today, a lot of hot takes. But the very first topic that we want to talk about Carolina's new recent coaching hire, Hubert Davis, who actually was the assistant coach for UNC Chapel Hills. He was actually assistant coach under Roy Williams for about, I believe, 6-7 years. And he recently made some comments. So basically, he is the first African-American to be the head coach of UNC's men's basketball team. And the question was asked of him, what are his thoughts of being one of the first African-American coaches at UNC Chapel Hill? He went on to explain how he was proud to be African-American, as well as proud as being one of the 26% of minorities that were a part of college basketball. But he also mentioned the fact that he was proud that his wife was white. And he was proud that his kids had both complexions, that they had both the Caucasian DNA and the Black DNA. What are your thoughts, gentlemen, on the question, which was, what are your thoughts on being an African-American coach? And then he mentioned how proud he was that his wife was white.
You want to take this first or me?
I talk a little bit on this. Okay? So for me, I don't understand why. Why he have to say, why? Why he have to say his wife is, white? Why he have to say he black? We know he black. We know he black. We don't need to know, your wife white. But to me, I feel what he doing, in about 20, 30 years, America's going to be looking like his children. And I think that was kind of, I don't know, it's just, since I'm not in his head, I don't want to assume. I'm trying to piece it all together. But to me, my first thought is why? What's the purpose of saying that? There's got to be a reason. Because it was just, it hit the waves quick, like boom. So he said something for a reason. So my thing is, I like to find out what the reason is before I even get into all the extras. It's like, what? Why? Why did you say it?
Well, let me take the liberty of getting into his head. Because I'm very familiar with these kind of brothers. What you have in Mr. Davis is a brother who basically his entire career has been centered around being as apolitical as possible. He has done everything that he possibly could to avoid any sort of political issues, especially specifically regarding race, in order to matriculate to become one of the 24% minorities that's coaching. So in functioning like this, he doesn't have the political sensitivities. He doesn't have the political consciousness that people are expecting out of someone in that position. And I would suggest that that's a part of the reason why he gets hired for that position. But the problem is the time has changed where now the public, even the white public, is expecting Black figures and Black leaders to have some kind of Black consciousness. But he came up during a time where basically it was in his mind advantageous to be as colorblind, as they like to use the term, and as apolitical as possible. So he basically is caught in between those two different eras, if you will.
I mean, I hear what you're saying.
He just was caught off guard.
Okay. I mean, I think it was still, he had an intent behind it. He had a purpose behind what he said. Because my thing is, he couldn't be caught off guard.
Well, the reason why I say he's caught off guard because his whole career, he was always avoiding subjects like this. His entire career.
Okay.
But now he's confronted with a question that they are expecting a person of some kind of political consciousness to be able to give a decent answer.
And he did. He gave a great response. And then that's why I get stuck with the why. I'm very proud of my wife. His wife's like, whoa, let me ask you a question.
Right. So let's get deeper into the mind of Mr. Davis. The reason why he felt it necessary to mention that his wife was white is because to guys like that, when they take a so-called pro-black position, in their mind, they think that they are being threatening to white society or white culture. So in order to allay any kind of discomfort or fear on the part of whites, he felt it necessary to say, hey, but I've got a white wife. Don't take my pride in being African-American. Listen, this is what it is. Don't take my statement that I'm proud to be an African-American to mean that I don't like white people. So to show you that I can be proud of my black heritage and still like white people, hey, my wife is white. Yeah, that's the whole line of logic in his mind. But what I'm saying, he's caught in an era because the era is now where that's not necessary anymore. That sort of taunting and cooning is not, you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's where that's what he was accustomed to. And so this is this is where that's why I say he got caught off.
The crazy thing is that, I definitely get what you're saying from the fact that, look, he wants to be, just from my perspective, I wouldn't say from my perspective. From the outside looking in, he wants to be labeled as the good Negro.
Right.
He wants to be the guy who people are saying, well, I'm non-threatening. I'm even though I'm proud of my blackness, I'm not going to threaten you with my blackness. But just because you are proud to be black does not mean you are anti something else.
Right.
And also, my issue with this is if he were to say he was proud of his blackness and then he feared that that he doesn't like white people, why would he go to UNC Chapel Hill? Why would he coach at UNC Chapel Hill? Why? So these are the questions that he would have to answer himself if he felt that way, because it doesn't make any sense. A racist would not want to coach at a UNC Chapel Hill because he's got to deal with certain people. If you are a racist, you want to deal with the majority of the people that are like you and don't want to work with other people. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the idea of him having to defend himself because and that's not what a racist means either. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying a racist would not want to work with other races. Not saying just because you work with just one race of people doesn't mean you're a racist. It just means, but the intent of it can be racist. But what I would just say is that Hubert Davis, in his own mind, I believe that he was trying to come with some type of unity, and he probably did research and said, well, by 2050, we're all going to have yellow skin and we're going to be mixed and all this kind of jazz. But the fact of the matter is that, like you said, Craig, we're living in a time where black consciousness has risen to a level where he could have said this in early 2000 and gotten away with it. But he said it in 2021. Right. With the height of black consciousness has risen. And so because of that, that will be an issue that he will constantly have to address. Now, granted, I will say from a collegiate level, because he is at UNC Chapel Hill, which is technically the top two programs, the top three programs in the country. And brothers, black people, we love Carolina. I don't, but brothers love Carolina. They're going to go anyway. They're going to say, oh, yeah, we Tar Heel, baby. We Tar Heel. But in the back of their mind, they're going to be like, look what this dude did. Look what this dude was talking about. They asked him a question about being black. and he's talking about he's proud his wife is white. Respect to Carolina. I want to put as much respect on Carolina's name, but the fact of the matter is that my father's alma mater, North Carolina State University, had 2 black coaches before Carolina, and there were more brothers that support Carolina than State. Okay, and North Carolina State is in a quote-unquote Republican area. But Carolina, they're quote-unquote more liberal, but they're not liberal in their hiring practices. And I think that should be discussed.
Right.
I have an issue with that. That pseudo-liberalism that you say, oh, yeah, I'm liberal. Then we need to look and see how many people of other races are being hired by universities that claim to be liberal. If you claim to be people where you say we're diverse, then we should see a diversity, not just a diversity of thought. Not just. And
I'm with you on that. Too. Hold on, I'm with you on the diversity aspect, the whole liberalism and all aspect. But if we look at the numbers of the United States, the demographics, we're 14% of the population. That's 44 million. I mean, so if we're looking at that, I mean, Mexicans will be saying the same thing, or Spanish people will be saying the same thing, and that's kind of where the big fuss.
No, because they find players. You know what I'm saying? And they find these players in high school. They find all these athletes. They can find some coaches, bro.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. We are a small percentage, but
yes, in the NBA and NFL, we are the high percentage of that. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So they could be fine. Is my point.
Yes, we are, and I don't even think we're 14% of the population anymore. I think we're 12 or 13%.
Yeah, we're like 12 or 13.
But I would just say, when it comes to an athletic perspective, that's an issue from the coaching position on down. They do not hire black coaches in football and basketball, and it's a shame, and it should change. The fact of the matter is that they put black coaches in defensive positions where they are less likely to be hired because organizations and colleges hire offensive-minded coaches. When they put black coaches as defensive coordinators, that is a problem that should be addressed. And Carolina, I'm glad this is the first step. I don't agree with what Hubert Davis said, but there needs to be more opportunities given to people of color, especially black people, because you see more black people playing on the courts, playing in the fields, so they know what they're doing.
Exactly.
That's what I have to say on that.
I guess the brothers need to start dating more white women.
And that is the moral of the lesson.
That's it. And all that was said, all I really got from it is, hey, I guess we need to go to the other side, do something. I mean, Kanye did it. I mean, hey, look what happened to Kanye. I mean, I'm like, sure, I'm trying to be like Kanye. Sure. I mean, hey. Nah. Shoot. Shit, give me a percentage of Kanye's money. I mean, hey.
But see, that mentality is the mentality that Davis is representing. You understand? In other words, that's his whole approach.
Yeah,
I've got to be as non-threatening and as passive to the white audience and the white mindset as I can. But of course, he's presuming that most white folks are a bunch of super racist sort of thing. And
so to me, by him saying that was like, it's like, yo, you I mean, it was back in the day, you trying to get yourself killed, man. I'm proud. It's like, yeah, I'm letting you guys know I got me one. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it's so many mixed reservations with that. That's why I'm like, hey, I'm trying to stay as quiet as possible so I don't say the wrong stupid stuff. This is the first podcast, so I don't want to, start off.
It's too late.
Too late? Oh, too late. Dang.
It's too late. I already sound off for you.
Too late. Okay.
But look, I already sound off for you. It's too late now. I already put my name out. And I probably got more to say, but I probably should keep my mouth shut.
Man.
All right, so I guess we're going to go on to the next topic so we don't get in trouble, so we don't get no sponsors and stuff, because we got to get some sponsors or somebody. I mean that's a great topic right there, too. See, we always got to jump to the other side because we, our 14% of people, we ain't got nobody that wants to sponsor nothing we're doing anyway, because...
Well, listen, once again, the population isn't the problem, the issue. if you go and do the demographics on Asians, it's far less than 12.
But that's still the number one household medium income.
If you do the demographics on Jews, they are far less than
group economics.
12%. However, you will still see them in positions of ownership, positions of management, and things of this sort. So let's not act as if that it has something to do with the numbers. It's not the numbers. It's the complexion. Let's call it for what it is. You follow me?
Yes. And my last thing on Hubert Davis is this. Like I said, I do believe that there will be black people who will question what he says, and I do believe that there will be a couple of players that will be turned off and might not want to play for him because they are very pro-black. However, the majority of the people who love Carolina, who want to go to the next level, they see greatness in Carolina. Carolina has a history of greatness when it comes to basketball on the court. Obviously, Michael Jordan, obviously Tyler Hansbrough, all these great players that Carolina's had in their in college. And so I think Carolina will be fine. I hope Hubert Davis does a great job. Okay, I mean, just because he made those comments don't mean that I won't support the brother or Carolina. I have much respect and love for Carolina. However, that does not mean that you cannot critique what was said or what the positions that the school takes, and it could be hypocritical. You can question, and that's what we got to do as reporters. That's what we got to do.
Yes, sir.
Is Hubert Davis like a President Kamala Harris?
Hold on. We got to let the other brother speak on the subject now.
He ain't gonna say nothing.
No, he wants to say something.
Y'all scared to talk.
Please go in. Come on, man.
Y'all can edit this out if y'all want. But fuck Hubert Davis. What he said had nothing to do with what was going on.
I dare you say such a thing.
Man, fuck him. That university been around here for 200-something years, bro. You know what I'm saying? He one of the four African Americans there. He could have left it at that. The fact that he has a white wife has nothing to do with his job. The fact that he has mixed kids had nothing to do with his job. He's talking to somebody, and it ain't to us. Point blank. Period. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta ask him no questions. All you gotta do is sit back and let him talk. He said exactly what he wanted to say. He knew who he was talking to, and he knew who was going to defend. He didn't care. He don't care. That's fine. And I happen to be one of those USC fans, die hard. I'm talking about from since like '85. Michael Jordan, Hubert Davis actually played on the team.
He was born in '82.
No, I'm saying I think Hubert Davis played on UNC. Is what I'm saying for the basketball team. So. You know, I mean, Sean May, Rashard McKain, Vince Carter, all the boys. But he like I said, he knows who he's talking to. He said what he needed to say.
He said what he said.
Said what he said. Respect. So the next topic we gotta talk about this Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua.
Some boxing
battle that. Yeah, it's boxing. We're switching it to boxing.
In boxing, we ain't got them issues in boxing. We ain't got them problems.
Yeah, right.
we ain't got them type of problems. Shit.
We talking boxing. I mean, Daniel Edouard, you're the professional boxer. This is your expertise, brother.
Man, that Tyson Fury AJ fight is the fight that everybody's been waiting to see, and the beautiful thing to me about the fight is, it's a brother versus Tyson Fury, he's like a brother too, but his complexion is a little lighter. But it's basically Europe getting the heavyweight crown back, because whoever has the heavyweight crown is basically king of boxing, and Europe is basically taking a stance and saying, Great Britain, of course, that GB, that boom, it's our shit, and I feel that's what's happening, but it's a beautiful thing, because they are the two best heavyweights in the game right now, and I'm excited to see it. They finally did a 2-fight deal. It's gonna be a 50-50 split. The first fight. The first fight's supposed to take place either June or July, but I'm thinking more July, August, and they want the second fight to take place either November, December. So I'm just excited about that fight happening, so we can see. I mean, Deontay Wilder. I mean, we need something. We need something of that magnitude, and I feel that's it.
I think that's the fight that everybody wanted to see, was the Deontay Wilder and Fury, but I don't think Deontay is mentally ready to take that fight. No,
I like what you said, mentally ready.
No, seriously, I don't think he's mentally ready either. I think that what he needs to do is he needs to take some time off. He needs to go reevaluate himself, and he needs to get another coach as well, because coach can only teach you what they know. It's obviously there's something that the other coach knows that he don't know. He needs to
he fired his real coach. You know what I'm saying? He fired the real coach, and then I guess the new boy coach, I forgot his name, Tom. I mean, he don't know what to teach him, so and he can't teach him because he don't know boxing like that. So it's just
he needs somebody. He needs somebody like you that's going to tell him, you know what I'm saying, get your head out that center line, you know what I'm saying, move your feet, take a step back, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna talk shit to him. He gonna get tired of me. He'll fire me the first week. I'm like,
do you believe, Justin? Do you believe that one of the reasons? Do you believe it might be too late? Because, like, you know, when you're a great boxer like Deontay Wilder, when you had a 97.5 knockout rating, okay, you've had success your whole career, just knocking suckers out, okay, just knocking boxers out, okay, and then you face this one guy who can take it, and then he beats you. I mean, he's past 30. You know, he's not a young man in boxing. It's tough, and like the old saying says, you can't teach old dogs new tricks. Is it too late for Deontay Wilder at this age?
I don't think it's too late. I think you can teach an old dog new tricks. He just gonna really have to dig down and just unlearn and relearn. You know what I mean? Because he came into the game late. He didn't come into his late teens. So usually when that happens, you got bad fundamentals. You know what I mean? So he was just riding on that right hand the whole time. If he can go back, Rocky did it. You know what I'm saying? When Rocky lost. Rocky lost the job. Yeah, when Rocky lost to Drago, he went and trained with Apollo Creed, and then he came back and beat him. No, man, for real. So to answer your question, it can be done.
Mr. T.
But I don't see. Yeah, Mr. T, my bad. But I don't see anybody beating Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury, for him to be so tall, he's the lightest one on his feet. You know what I mean? He's the tallest heavyweight, and he's the lightest on his feet. That's saying a lot. He can dodge your punches. He can get in quick. He's Aki. You know what I'm saying? He feints with his jab. You know what I'm saying? You can't get a read on him. So he can just sit there and tap until you get frustrated, and then he hits you with that right that every man has because we're grown men, and then the game changes. So, but I think to give you my opinion on the fight, I think Tyson Fury will win. I don't think he'll knock him out. He might. I wouldn't be surprised if he knocked him out. But if you ask my opinion, I think it's going 12 rounds Fury. And as far as Deontay Wilder, we'll see, man. I'm praying for the brother. You know what I mean? I don't like to see people go down like that, but he just really got to just reevaluate. And it's no different from us in life. You know, we go through it. You know, we have certain careers, and then, you know, COVID happens. You know what I mean? Now we got to redo things. So, but yeah, that's my take on it, fellas.
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally respect that perspective. I think Deontay Wilder, like you said, if he were to dig really deep, it would be possible for him to come back. However, when it comes to this fight, okay, let's be honest about something. All right, if Anthony Joshua could not beat Andy Ruiz, he ain't beating Tyson Fury.
But he came back and beat him, though.
He can't beat him. He cannot do. Look, Andy Ruiz, he was overweight by 15 pounds the second fight. He was partying. He was going reckless, and
that's true.
And he got sidetracked. Anthony Joshua is he's a good boxer. He's a good boxer, but you know what? I think Tyson Fury toys with him.
Hey,
I think he toys with him, and I think he finishes him.
I'm just going to answer, you know, for me, I'm just going to tell y'all my view on the Deontay Wilder. If it's too late, and this, you know, it's too late, baby. It's too late. It's too late. It's not happening. In the boxing game, you cannot teach no dog new tricks. It's not going to happen. You've never seen it. The Rocky movie is a movie. That's why it's a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Fiction.
It's fiction. It's a fiction character story. That Negro, that's why he fought yet. You know, he's been exposed.
Well, wait a minute. Before we
did him like that.
Yeah, but before we turn it all the way off, though the age thing may not have been a component of it, but this is the reason why they call Muhammad Ali the greatest.
Yes.
Because he was the individual who could take a loss and come back.
And he stood the test of time.
Missing, and this is what we're missing. Frankly, this is what we were missing with Mike Tyson. This is what we're missing with Deontay Wilder. Is can you take that L and come back? And I think the point that Justin is making is really the more prescient issue is because it's a mental, emotional, and spiritual thing.
Trifecta, baby.
If you just don't have, and if you don't have that component, and that component gets tested, then yeah, you can't come back. Whether you got the age or not. Mike Tyson was still young after he lost my man Holyfield. You know what I mean? But it
was too late, baby.
So you know what I mean. So that's how I see it.
Oh! I think Tyson and Holyfield they're supposed to do number 3 on May 31st. That's what they talking about.
Tyson know better.
Huh?
Tyson know better.
I mean, they're both so old. You know what I mean? It's like respect to the gentleman. You know what I mean? Every person that goes into the ring, that they deserve respect. But I mean, you gotta wonder about the health. I mean, you got two old fighters just duking it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because they're not going to duke it out like that.
Tyson gonna get murdered again.
Yeah.
On God. Holyfield, he's a bad man.
I think they offered him I think they offered him $25 million, and he turned it down. You don't want that smoke, bro. Holyfield, man. People underestimate Holyfield. Man. Holyfield was the specimen,
the warrior,
the real deal.
Holyfield was bro.
The real deal.
If Holyfield wasn't boxing, the nigga would have been on football or something. He's an athlete. He's still in shape right now. You seen him lately?
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I haven't seen him. No.
He's in shape.
He looking in shape, but I mean.
But one thing for certain, when Mike Tyson hit Holyfield with everything he had, and Holyfield was still standing and still coming, that just took Mike out the game. Because he wasn't. That
would take anybody out of the game. And Holyfield stood right there and looked at him and was like, let's go.
Right, exactly.
Let's go.
It's just like when Tyson Fury went down and he got back up. That shook something in Deontay.
That took everything out of Deontay Wilder. Exactly. Deontay Wilder was like, yeah, fight over with. He turned around. Undertaker comes up.
When nobody's talking about. Yeah, absolutely. What nobody's talking about is after Tyson Fury got back up, remember, it was the 12th round. Mm-hmm. Remember, you know how it is, Coco. When you get knocked down, you got to keep that man off of you because that man is coming. Mm-hmm. You can block all you want to, but eventually you got to throw a 1-2 duck, 1-2 move out the way. Tyson Fury.
Justin whispering like he in a closet or something. Like he hiding from his children or something. You hiding from somebody?
Man. No, I'm in the library.
You know, fans can still hear us.
When Tyson Fury got rocked, he went back to the basics. What's the basics? 1-2, right down the middle, jab cross, and that's what he did. When he started doing that, he started tapping Deontay. That's why Deontay couldn't finish him off. Because when Tyson Fury started doing that 1-2, it backed him up. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't finish him off. And then after that, his coaches was like, yo, that nigga is there to be hit. And that's what for real. And that's what they trained on that next fight. He said that. He said, look at Deontay. He doesn't move his head. He's like a statue. He doesn't move left and right. He doesn't move his head. He's not moving his head off the center line. He's right there to be hit. When Tyson Fury got hurt and he started landing the 1-2 to get him off of him, the coach was like, ding, ding. It's over with it. He's never going to, he can't beat that guy anymore.
And that's why there will never be a third fight. Just right there. That's why. The boxing IQ, the toughness of Tyson Fury, and I'm not saying that Wilder ain't tough, because he's tough. We all know he's tough. But there's something to be said about that boxing IQ and that ring toughness, what you do inside the ring and being able to handle it. Tyson Fury was able to handle himself. Deontay Wilder was not. That is why there will not be a third fight. I'm telling you all that right now.
It sure won't be. It sure won't be. Let's move on to the next fight.
Yes. Next topic is Andy Ruiz versus Chris Ariela. Now, gentlemen, from my perspective, I'm just gonna say Andy Ruiz is going. This is gonna be a good fight for him. He's gonna come back and he's gonna put on the show. Gentlemen, what do you think of the Andy Ruiz versus Chris Ariela fight?
I mean, to me, it's a great comeback fight for Ruiz. You know, Ariela's going to be there. Ariela's going to push him to the limit, but not enough. So it's a good, safe fight. Ruiz is going, if he's in shape, if Ruiz is in shape, he looks like he's in shape. So I'm excited to see it because it's two Mexican heavyweights going at it. They're going to go toe-to-toe. I think Ariela Mexican. He's Mexican too, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I think so. I have to double check, but I believe he is Mexican.
Two Mexican heavyweight fighters going at it. It's just going to be a great fight. That's why I put it for pay-per-view. I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but you know what I'm saying? It's still two Mexican heavyweights going toe-to-toe. So it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be an exciting fight regardless of how fat or out of shape any one of them may be. It's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, because that's what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah. And Ariela's old.
Andy Ruiz is fat.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't matter about. I mean, Tyson Fury, somebody could say he's fat. You know what I'm saying? But it's about the skill. I mean, Andy Ruiz, the reason why he was able to beat AJ the first time was because of his boxing IQ, his boxing skills. AJ had a very similar background. I think he started boxing a little bit later. But Andy started early, and we saw the difference in the first fight. That boxing skill. Andy's got that. That's why he was undefeated. I mean, he's only lost 2 fights. He's been undefeated most of his career. He's only lost 2 fights in his career. That was a bad dude.
And Ariela has lost 6, but all 6 have been to world champions. Klitschko's, AJ's. I mean, he's fought some of everybody. He's fought everybody.
Man, stop that bullshit, man. Ariela finna get his ass whooped, and then Ruiz finna fight Wilder. Wilder finna whoop that ass, and Wilder's gonna end up fighting.
You think Wilder's gonna beat Ruiz? You think Wilder's gonna beat Ruiz?
He's gonna punish.
He's not gonna be able. By that time, he'll be able to throw. They should have taught him how to throw his jab. He should be able to avoid the munchkin.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
For Wilder. That's going to be a tough one for Wilder, and that's if Wilder boxes again. If Wilder boxes. I believe he will box again.
Hold on. Could you be this? Okay, so he said he will. I was about to ask you that. Do you think he's going to box again? Okay.
I do believe he will box again, but I do think he should have already been boxing. He should have already had at least one fight since.
Thank you. Just like he was building himself up in Alabama, taking his little smoker fights, he can do the same thing now. It's just too much of the eyes are going to be on him.
Oh, you did disrespectful. Oh, man, taking smokers, cuz?
Yeah, that's what he was. Shoot.
Smokers? Oh, just disrespectful.
I mean, they was just doing little fights in Alabama. He was just jumping in.
Hold on. To the listeners, because I don't know if the listeners know. To the listeners that know what a smoker is like some shack that somebody rented out, or it might be in somebody's backyard. You ever see the backyard fight? That's what a smoker is. I don't want to leave the listeners behind. That's how disrespectful is Deontay Wilder. So go ahead.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is, right?
It's so many words.